Today we are talking about my substance use. My goal in talking about this is to reach out to those who judge addicts and educate them on the fact that addiction starts with trauma, and there is a person under that addiction. Since a young age, I felt a lot of pain. My first substance was nicotine. I believe I was between 10 and 13 the first time I took a drag of a cigarette. I got addicted to nicotine in August 2011 at the age of 17. My grandpa, who I was very close to, was passing away, and I was there to be his hospice nurse. It was a challenging time, and I turned to nicotine to get moments of escape. I've quit nicotine about 4 times now, each time for a few months, but I am now currently using again. My next substance was Oxycontin. I believe I was around 14 when I took my first pill. My grandma had a prescription, and I would take her pills. I took Oxy about 5 times. It made me feel great for about 2 hours. After that, it was like a light switch got turned on, and I would go from feeling incredible to being violently ill. Taking such a high dose, and I was so little. I feel lucky that I would get so sick. I believe this saved me from an addiction that would have turned ugly. I know far too many people who have gotten addicted to opioids. My next substance was alcohol. The first time I got drunk, I was around 16 years old. I didn't drink very often at all until 2015 when I returned home from Afghanistan. I wasn't doing well during this time. I remember returning home and seeing my family for the first time. It should have been the happiest time of my life. I love my family. But as my sister began to ask me where I wanted to go eat, I became overwhelmed. I knew then I had a problem, and I turned to alcohol. I wasn't drinking every night, but when I did drink, I wouldn't stop till I was gone. My friends showed me tough love, and I realized I had a problem. We all make mistakes, and I made some big ones. I remember the last time I drove while drunk. I was so far gone. I was driving the back roads with the windows down in the middle of the winter, screaming at the top of my lungs to focus. The next thing I knew, I woke up in my bed. I no longer use alcohol at all. My next substance was cocaine. This is the substance that became a problem really fast. The first time I did coke, I was with some friends down in San Diego. I believe it was in 2018, and I loved it. I loved the way it made me feel. I have bipolar disorder, and coke sent me straight to the euphoric mania part of bipolar disorder. The problem with coke is it's very hard to stop once you start. At least for me it was. As soon as I did that first line and it started to wear off, I wanted another, and another, and another. I didn't want to stop. It got to the point where I was no longer doing cocaine with friends, but I would buy cocaine and do it by myself in my room all day long. What saved me honestly was the cost of the drug. I was spending $100+ for a day of being by myself high. This cost eventually overwhelmed my bank account to the point I could no longer afford to keep going, and I was able to stop using. My next substance I did once, but it comes with a story of a huge mistake that I'm so thankful didn't turn out the way it could have. I was driving a straight truck for work, going from Medford, Oregon to the Bay Area to make deliveries. I stopped in Wairika for food and was approached by a guy looking for a tool to fix his car. He then asked me if I smoked weed. I told him I didn't, but then asked if he did cocaine. He happened to have cocaine on him, and we agreed on a trade. I bought him scratch-off tickets, and he gave me a little bit of coke and another bag containing a little bit of MDMA, my next substance. As I drove away, the urge to use the coke I had became too strong. I can drive on coke, I thought to myself, so I did. I was eating it while I was at work. The bag didn't last long, and I had that urge to do more, but I didn't have any more. So I turned to a substance some random guy gave me that I've never taken before, and I began to eat that too. It didn't take me long to realize I needed to stop driving, so I drove to the next rest area and slept it off. I was searching for an escape from my pain, and even though I knew I was way in the wrong, I did it anyways. Next on my list is marijuana. This is the substance I am currently using on a daily basis. I consider it a problem because I would like to stop, but feel as though I cannot. The urge to use and get an escape is strong. The first time I used was around 2018. I was dating a girl that smoked and decided to get high with her. I enjoyed it. It didn't really become a problem till 2020. I was in so much pain that year and just wanted any escape I could find. I soon found myself getting high all day. I no longer use all day, but I'm struggling not to use at night when I go to sleep. I know it makes my bipolar disorder worse. It sends me into my head with my racing thoughts and intensifies my anxiety. And yet, I want to use because it separates me from reality. My last substance was shrooms. I've done shrooms twice. The first time I swore by them. They pulled me right out of my depression. What I know now that I didn't know then was they actually sent me into a manic episode. Weed and alcohol are two substances a lot of people can use and be totally fine. I view it as a problem if 1, you are using daily, 2, if you want to stop but can't stop, or 3, you know you should stop but you don't want to stop. I have an active problem with nicotine and weed. I'm lucky. I'm lucky to not have slipped down the rabbit hole that so many of us slip into. I avoided an opioid addiction. The commercials worked and I never did meth. But I am an addict. I use substances that I want to stop but can't. I want to be able to drink or get high once in a while like many of us are able to do, safely and in moderation. But I am not one of those people. Because I have trauma within. Like so many of us do. Anything that numbs the pain, I will abuse, as many of us do. I am an addict. The next time you come across that tweaker, remember, there is a person under that addiction. And that addiction stems from pain within the person. Show some empathy. We are all human. We all make mistakes. What sets me apart from that person suffering the opioid addiction was nothing but luck. I was born into a supportive family that loves me no matter what. I was given the education to be self-aware. I have an amazing support system around me. Not everyone gets so lucky. I am privileged, and my heart breaks for my fellow addicts because I know that addiction started from a trauma somewhere in that person's life. That person has pain within. I love you all. Thank you for listening to my story. Subscribe to this channel and follow me as I chase my grandiose delusions and work to make the world a better place for all. Thank you all. I love you so much. Take care.